Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Ben Kieckhefer joins us, the former state senator, former chief of staff to Governor Lombardo, now heading up his own firm, BRK Nevada, here for the whole show on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome to the Winnemucca Big R.
Hi, I'm John Walker. Welcome to Big R Lovelock.
Hi, I'm Rich Martin. Welcome to Fallon Big R.
My name is Braden. Welcome to Big R Fernley.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to Big R Sparks.
Turn your clunker into a caddy during the Cadillac and Cash giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Weekly cash drawings including $5,000 cash and one top prize of $10,000. Win the grand prize of a Cadillac CT4 or $40,000 in cash. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
Gear up for the 105th Reno Rodeo at the Double R Marketplace and experience the biggest little shopping adventure in the West. With over 100 vendors, you'll find everything from Western attire to home decor to tasty treats. Open every day during the Reno Rodeo at the Livestock Event Center Indoor Arena and South Exhibit Hall. The Double R Marketplace, Thursday, June 20th through Saturday, June 29th. Plus, shop online anytime at renorodeo.com for Reno Rodeo merchandise.
Story County is leading Nevada. Home of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, Google, Tesla, Panasonic, and other world-leading companies. Story County provides thousands of tech, advanced manufacturing, and logistics careers for Nevadans. We're diversifying and driving Nevada's economy and generating millions in tax revenue and billions in economic activity across northern Nevada. Story County is leading Nevada's future.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always pleased to welcome back to the program Ben Kieckhefer, this time as the owner of BRK Nevada, LLC. What is this, sir?
That is me. Those are my initials. And this is a venture out on my own. That is my shingle. I am going to do independent consulting for the hopefully rest of my professional career, and that is the banner under which I'm flying at this point.
I can't think of anybody except former Governor Brian Sandoval who has as an extensive resume as you do. Newspaper reporter, spokesman for Governor Givens, spokesperson for the Department of Health and Human Services when Mike Weldon was running the organization, gaming commissioner, state senator, of course, and then chief of staff to Governor Lombardo. That's an incredible breadth of experience.
Well, I appreciate that, and like someone told me the other day, you know, you're getting old when former is in front of everything that they used to describe you. But look, I've really enjoyed the career that I've had, and I think that that combination of communications experience and political experience and policy experience really lends itself to helping others be successful in this space, and I look forward to working with good people doing good things. That's the goal.
I forgot to bring in McDonald Corano. You worked for them for multiple years, and they were very supportive of your political career as well.
Great law firm, great people, good friends, and it was a choice to go out on my own that was not made easy by the fact that I had friends there and a potential home there. But this, there will be my first source of a referral for all legal business. That's sure.
To say the least. Let's start out with the state of government in the state of Nevada. I have said many times on this program that even though he's my good friend, Sig Rogich pushed term limits, and I think that was one of the worst things that ever happened to the state of Nevada because of the constantly changing cycle of legislators. And it seems like we're no better off today than we were when term limits started booting people out. We used to have all this institutional knowledge, and that is bit by bit, to my mind, fading away. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts on that?
Well, the thing about term limits is that they work, right?
Yes.
I was the beneficiary of them. When I was first elected in 2010, I was replacing Randolph Townsend, who had served, I think, 28 years in the state Senate. I think it's probably likely he would have run for another term if he'd have had the opportunity. So interestingly, I'm a beneficiary of them. I don't support them on their face. I think it sort of artificially restricts who I can elect to represent me in my government. So fundamentally, I have a problem with them. But they do work, and they do have the effect of bringing in new blood. Now, I think that in many ways, especially at the legislative level, term limits have sort of devalued legislative service, I think. And people look at the legislature more as a stepping stone job than as a calling in and of itself. And I think that you see that based on the churn and the fact that almost a third of the legislature is new every session. And where the institutional knowledge now resides is in people like me who are on the outside. And the Lobby Corps and the Legislative Counsel Bureau, the reporting staff oftentimes has more extensive knowledge than some of the legislators who serve. So term limits have the effect of bringing in new people, giving new opportunities to folks, but they do really restrict the knowledge base of those who are in the seats of power, and oftentimes the folks who have the knowledge over history are on the outside looking in. But I think that there's also a good relationship there between the folks on the outside and the folks in the seats. And if there's good give and take, and if there's good exchange of information and ideas, then it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Are you concerned about the difficulty that the governor is having, for example, in recruiting people to run for office? I mean, you couldn't pay me $1 million to run for office just because I wouldn't want to expose my family and my wife to, which I included my family.
I'm sure she's grateful.
I hope so. But to the attacks that go on. I mean, I can't even imagine what it's like for Catherine Cortez Masto, who just went through it 2 years ago, or Jackie Rosenau, where you're just ripped to shreds during the election cycle, and it's just as bad on a local level.
Yeah, look, it is hard, and it is getting worse. But honestly, I think the governor did an excellent job recruiting people to run for important seats that he's going to need in order to retain some authority in the upcoming legislative session. So it's possible to find good people who are willing to do this. I've always said that I think the service in the legislature is an incredible job. The application process is difficult. It's not the interaction with individuals. It's not the work, but it is sort of the slings and arrows that come in from the cheap seats that make it difficult. But sometimes you just got to gird up and deal with it, because the work itself can be incredibly rewarding and worth it. It's important.
Where is the legislature and the state and the country in regard to the middle? Because I feel, and I talk to obviously a lot of people outside of this program who tell me that they are moderate Republicans or moderate Democrats, and they're trying to find their place. Are they the ones that are becoming independents, or are the independents there because of the voter registration that now goes on through the DMV? What's your take on that?
I think a lot of the nonpartisan registration is automatic DMV registration. There has been push, I think, from both political parties to the fringes that has resulted in some folks registering or deregistering from parties and moving into a nonpartisan status. But overall, I think that there are still plenty of right of center Republicans and left of center Democrats who are not on the fringes. The problem is that it's harder to get elected as one of those people, right? And harder to serve as a representative, particularly in the legislature, or as a sort of moderate D or a moderate R. And that's, I think, due to a couple of factors. One is redistricting, right? And the incredible slant that redistricting gives to specific districts, and finding competitive districts is very hard. So, you run to the fringe to win a primary, and then you get elected. It's common in Congress, it's common in the state legislature, it's common across the country. So if we want to fix this issue, I think redistricting reform is number one. And look, I'm personally a big fan of open primaries as a way to give all of those folks who are registered nonpartisan the opportunity to participate in the primary process when there are districts that are slanted one way or the other.
The amount of money that pours into the state, especially for the federal races, is just astonishing.
Mm-hmm. Most of it from outside of the state.
Most of it from outside of the state. How do you feel about this?
Well, look, the big national races for U.S. Senate, right? And that's the one we're going to be seeing right now. It's sort of how it is, and I think that what's important and what's great about Nevada is that you still have pretty good access to your elected officials here, right? So if you want to take the time to learn about who's representing you, if you can't find them personally, you can find somebody who knows them and ask questions and really get to understand that candidate. But the the flow of large dollars into the state through independent expenditures is just sort of the state of play. It happens in every state. We're not unique, but I think we're uniquely positioned to be a better informed electorate because we have better access to our elected officials in this state. We just do. It's one of the things that's great about Nevada.
True, and my favorite is always Kenny Gwynn, because you go to the grocery store in Carson City and bump into the governor anytime. And I think Brian Sandoval was pretty much the same. Does it concern you, as we obviously are going to elect more governors from Southern Nevada, that even though the capital is still Carson City, the power has moved to Southern Nevada?
No, not at all. I think that, look, 3/4 of the people live in Southern Nevada, right? So it only makes sense that we're getting people from Southern Nevada elected into the governor's mansion. From a capital perspective, where power resides, I think that sometimes gets overblown. Joe Lombardo spends an incredible amount of time in Northern Nevada, working on issues, working with state agencies and departments. Most cabinet members are still, residing in Carson City. So, look, we're a single state that's easy to navigate, and the influence of one region over the other, I think, sometimes gets overblown.
Does it concern you, though, that as Southern Nevada grows, and that was one of the reasons why I started Nevada Newsmakers 22 years ago as a statewide program from the get-go, even though we were only initially broadcasting in North Nevada, was that as time went by and Southern Nevada's power grew, that we would be on the same level in Reno-Sparks and Washoe County as Elko and Ely, which is minimal representation because they didn't have the money to hire the big-time lobbyists to be able to represent them. And when you talk to legislators from Southern Nevada, apart from the fact they come in through the Reno airport, they really don't know Northern Nevada at all.
Well, that's why you got to elect good representatives out of your region, right? People who are going to be good legislators, who are going to work with other folks and help educate people from other parts of the state about what's important to them. You've seen that in rural Nevada with Senator Kieckhefer, right? Like people who have had zero experience in parts of his district defer to him as an expert and look to him to guide them on water issues and other natural resource issues. And you see that, I think the dynamic that you describe is best summarized by who's chairing natural resource committees, right? Oftentimes they are freshmen out of urban areas who are Democrats, and yet oftentimes they'll look to someone like Pete Kieckhefer to help guide policy on issues for his district. So look, if you elect good representatives who are willing to work with people who care about the issues and have a foundational knowledge of what's happening, you can be well represented and still have influence within the policymaking process. And look, that's representative democracy, and it works.
Okay, yes, 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 and yes. But with the media in the situation it's in, the people are not getting the information on who these people are. As much as somebody may write a policy paper, and people like you and I are going on their websites to see what they're running on and perhaps get a chance to talk to them, the average person, if at all, gets to see a 30-second TV commercial, or in assembly districts and Senate districts, a mailer. I'm in favor of education. Well, gee, who isn't? I don't know how the public is supposed to choose, and suddenly they become tribal, and so they're either Republican or Democrat, when I don't know about you, but I look at the candidates, and if there's a good Democrat on the ticket, I'm going to vote for the Democrat. If there's a good Republican, I'm going to vote for the Republican. And if there's a good independent, I'm going to vote for them.
Yeah, but you're not alone in that, Sam, right? Like Nevada's full of people like that. Look at our constitutional officers. We have 6 constitutional officers. Half are Republicans, half are Democrats. That means people are not straight ticket voting. People are going down the ballot, evaluating candidates, choosing who they think best represents what they believe and what is good for the state, and casting their ballot that way. There are ticket splitters all over this state. It's not just you, it's not just me. And it is, I think, one of the things that you see in Nevada that is a result of that access that we talked about a little bit earlier, that you see, Kenny Gwynn sitting at the Old Globe, or Joe Lombardo sitting at the Old Globe for that matter, and you can have a conversation with them. And that's true for your legislative candidates. It's true for your local government officials. And people have the ability and willingness to make those choices. And I think that Nevadans are fairly high information voters because they have that access to people.
What's interesting is over the years, last decade or so, people have been trying to push the fact that Nevada is no longer a purple state, it's a blue state. But that really has never become true. We have remained this place where you got to fight for every inch of ground.
It's a state where you got to earn it. You're absolutely right. It's a state that will give people the benefit of the doubt, that will take a chance on somebody that they don't necessarily know. And I think it's to the benefit of all Nevadans that the folks running for office have to go out and work for it, because it gives them the opportunity to learn more and understand what people believe in and what they want to do in that position of power.
Okay, I'm not going to go through a list of formers, but Ben Kieckhefer is with us, and he's going to be right back after this timeout.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday, trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low, and our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way, because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Ben Kieckhefer, who heads up BRK Nevada, LLC, his new company. One of the stories that I've been chasing for the last few years, actually it's a long time, is Ivanpah. Mm-hmm. Because to me, this is the biggest economic development story and will be in the state. Mm-hmm. Ray Hager did a piece for me where he wrote that Hoover Dam in today's money costs $750 million. Mm. The Ivanpah Airport is going to be at minimum $14 billion and probably more than that. And yet it just seems to fly under the radar. Mm. I mean, half the legislators don't even know about it.
Oh, they're not calling it Ivanpah, I don't think anymore.
No,
either,
well,
right?
it's it's the town with no name.
Right, exactly. So I think look, I certainly agree. You know, the airport in Las Vegas is going to need some relief, and that identified airspace, I think, is probably where it's going to end up having to go. There are a lot of steps that I think have to happen, but that region of the state down by Jean, there's a lot of opportunity there. You're going to be having Brightline run through that corridor as well. Obviously, it's not going to stop there, but there are
they're saying
space.
They're saying maybe.
Okay,
on that.
maybe. Well, perhaps, especially if there's an airport built there, right? But the need to develop outside of the sort of central part of the valley in Clark County is very real. You know, there are some water issues about getting water out to that area, but SNWA has a plan for that.
Yes.
And I think that, you know, those steps are going to continue being taken to develop both that airport as well as that area around Jean.
I think the opportunity, and just having been in Singapore, where Changi Airport is just mind-blowing. I mean, just go online on YouTube and punch up Singapore Airport. It is the most amazing attraction with a giant mall next door to it. You start to see the potential for what could be in Ivanpah when they actually build this airport. And I would love there to be a discussion among architects to say, okay, this is the future. I talked to one architect about Elon Musk's Boring Company, and he said, well, that may not be the big deal because by the time the new airport opens, we'll have flying taxis.
Well, hopefully it's not that far down the road, but...
Well, no, they're saying 37.
Yeah.
2032 is when the airport runs out of space. 37 is when the new airport would open. But truthfully, I don't believe gaming will allow that. Let's take another break, and we'll be right back after this time out.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com. Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the air conditioning back on today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why sweat for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your air conditioning fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Ben Kieckhefer. He stepped down from being governor's chief of staff to open his own firm, BRK Nevada LLC. We will be hearing a lot more about that in the future, I know. But I did want to ask you a political question, which was $2 billion plus $150 million in addition, or $250 million in addition, right, that went to education in the last session. When I talk to teachers, they say, well, it's going to take time for that money to run through the system before you start to see results. What's the time period that we should wait before we see results from a vast amount of money going to education?
Yeah, look, I think we should be seeing results now, or at least progress now.
And what shape would that take?
Well, the governor's published a matrix by which he's going to be looking at whether we're making progress towards key indicators, and that includes 8th grade math, 4th grade reading, 3rd grade reading, and high school success rates for college and career readiness, and then having districts fill teacher vacancies so that we're not having a bunch of students taught by long-term subs. And that matrix is going to be monitored year over year to see whether progress is being made. The weight of this is really on the districts and how they have decided to deploy this additional funding in their schools. They received an increase in funding of about 22%. From the state education fund year over year. And if they didn't use that money to improve outcomes for students, they probably didn't use it the right way. And some of that certainly is going to be in enhanced salary and benefits for teachers because we need to retain them and recruit more. But that can't be exclusively what they spent money on, right? And if it was, then that was probably a mistake. So ultimately, those districts are going to be accountable for how they spent the resources that the state sent them. And that accountability is going to be really important going forward, and we'll see what the outcomes are.
This election is going to be just so stunning in terms of the importance to both the Democrats and the governor in terms of whether we end up with super majorities in both houses that could reverse the vetoes the governor put through. I personally am in favor of divided government, so that's where I hope things will end up, but we shall see. And I look forward to you coming back many times because, I've been watching your career since you were knee-high to a grasshopper, and pretty darn close. And I know it's going to be a very exciting time for you, and you'll have lots of things to talk about on this show. So come back soon.
Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. Always enjoy it.
And the best of luck to you. And we'll be right back.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
7 at 7 is a newscast built for your smartphone. It's a 7-minute newscast available every weekday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. at lvrj.com. We don't waste your time, and we give you the day's top stories.
We at the RJ have noticed some similarities between us and a certain BTS character, RJ.
Plus the latest in Las Vegas business, weather, health, and entertainment news. 7 at 7 streaming now on your smartphone.
Carson Valley Inn, it's your place for the good times. Carson Valley Inn.
Calamity. It lurks around every corner. Or not. That's why UMC Quick Care is around every corner, with locations around the valley. UMC Quick Care, for all your small calamities.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Event Center sits at the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. 2 floors of meeting and event space are ideal for groups and conventions. Stay in one of 200 luxurious rooms and suites. Brand your event throughout the property. Flexible event spaces make for easy planning and personalization. Take over the entire hotel with a full buyout option.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers. You can catch us online 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com, or you can download the podcast wherever you like to get your podcast. We'll see you on the next broadcast.